Alright, so boom, I'm at work, but I have this word I want to release to y'all because it will not leave me alone. God, as of late, as I've been in my secret time with God and speaking to the Lord, and getting close to the Lord, He's been speaking so much to me about the Song of Solomon. Now, a lot of us know the Book of Solomon is known to be very, very loving and poetic literature about a king and a Shulamite woman. But if we look at it from a spiritual aspect, we see that it is really talking about, the relationship between God and His bride, which is us. And I know for many of us have been going through a very hard time. We've been going through a season where it feels like you've been in a dry place, where it feels like the place that you're in is desolate. Everything seemed like it was going so good at first. Everything seemed like it was all sunshines and rainbows until everything came crashing down, and now you're left confused. Now you're left wounded. Now you're left hurt. Not knowing that through the woundedness and through the brokenness and through the breaking down, God was allowing you to shed old layers of yourself on the inside that needed to come off so that He can bring in and restore the new that he wants to do through you. He did it so that you could be able to see your path more clearly. He did it so that you can be able to see more clearly on the things that you need to work on the inside. Because whatever God is trying to do in your life, whatever God is trying to bring in, He does not want you to self-sabotage it. He does not want you to take the old habits, the old patterns, the old ways, the old people, the old ways of thinking, and all that into the new that He has for you. Old wineskins need to be shedded so that new wineskins can be placed on. You can't have old wineskins with new wineskins. And that's why I say many of us have been in a desolate place where we're left confused, where we're left hurt, and we feel like it's been repeated patterns after patterns after patterns. And it seems like we can't shake off this feeling. It seems so painful and it seems like it hurts. And that's the point. It needs to hurt. You're shedding the old you, when you're shedding the new life in which you've always been accustomed to, it's going to come with some spiritual incision. It's going to come with some spiritual cutting. And that spiritual cutting is in your inward parts. That spiritual cutting is in your heart. And so as I was sitting around, the Lord began to tell me, Song of Solomon 8:5. Put this to y'all straight. In all my years of reading the word, I've never read, the book, the Song of Solomon. Well, I'm not making none of this stuff up. That's how you know it's the Spirit of the Lord, you feel me? And the passage says, who is this sweeping from the desert, leaning on their lover? I aroused you under the apple tree where your mother gave you birth, where in great pain she delivered you. So it says in the New King James Version, the person that is describing this woman that they're seeing coming out the desert, leaning on their lover, is a whole entire relative. But as we can see, it is a clear indication that this woman is coming out of a very desolated place. And it seems like she's coming from a desolated place into something fruitful, into something harvestful, into something new. Walking into new life that is being presented to her with the person, alongside with the person that she truly loves. And it describes and saying that the relative is saying, I have awakened you under the apple tree. And there where you were awakened is where you were delivered. And it is the place where your mother had given birth to you. And I believe this is great in its powerful symbolism on what it means to coming from a desolate place, coming from a place of scarcity, coming from a place of aloneness, coming from a place of turmoil into a renewed state, into a state where you realize that the person that you loved or the person that cared about you all along was leaning next to you and was sitting next to you the whole entire time. And that whole time you never went through it alone. Whole time you were never defeated. Whole time you were never in this thing alone, but that it was always your first love that was standing right next to you to get you through the desolate place. In a place where you felt like you were defeated. In a place where you felt like that it was no end. You start to come out of what you went through, and you come into the new, refreshed, new state of mind, new heart, renewed spirit and soul, leaning on God, because God said He would never leave you nor forsake you. Even if we read the New King James Version, it says that who is that coming out of the wilderness leaning on their love? So many of you are coming out of the wilderness. Many of you are coming from a place of scarcity to a place of provision. Many of you are coming from a place of blindness to a place where your eyes are 20/20 vision. Many of you are awakening back to that place where God found you all along. That place where He birthed you. That place where He renewed you. That place where His protection and His hand was over your life the whole entire time. He needed you to go through the desolation. He needed you to go through the hardships so that you can be able to come back into a state, so you can come back into a new mind and come back to a place where you're only seeking Him and you're only loving Him and not anything other else that can get in the way of His love and intimacy that between y'all both. So God is saying, be encouraged on today. You are finally going to come out of that place where you felt so alone, that place where you felt desolate, where that place where everything was so shaky and everything was rocky. And you're wondering to God, God, what did I do? God, why is this happening? God, why is this, that, and third? Not knowing that God was saying that everything is going to work out for your good. Whether I showed you a glimpse of it or whether I showed you nothing, I just needed you to walk by faith and not by sight. I needed you to walk by spiritual vision instead of physical vision, because everything that what you see right now on this earth in the physical is not what it seems. Everything is in the spirit. And under that apple tree, under that place of safety, under that place of comfort, the Holy Spirit is present. The Holy Spirit is with you. The Holy Spirit is your comforter. The Holy Spirit, the spirit in which God had left for us believers as a helpmate, as a helper, is with many of us right now. Times of desperation, in times we feel alone, in times where our mind is in turmoil, God is saying that He is right there. Many of us are in our coming out season. Stay prepared, stay locked in God, and keep pressing forward. I love you, and so does God.